Welcome everyone, I'm Vivi, and let me share my thoughts and experience having played SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. THQ Nordic and Purple Lamp teamed up to bring us a dearly beloved childhood game. A beautiful 3D platformer starring characters a lot of you are probably familiar with. Not only do we get to see these characters throughout different levels in the game, but a lot of them share a familiar voice a lot of us remember from the TV show.
No, it's those blasted robots! They've taken over the ski slopes!
SpongeBob Rehydrated is a complete faithful remake of the beloved classic game, featuring single-player campaign and a newly added multiplayer Horde mode, supporting up to 2 players, locally and online, sharing one screen, with the option to select one of 7 characters, 4 of which are brand new to control: Roboplankton, Gary, Krabs, and Squidward. You and your pal will have to battle through 26 islands full of waves of enemies, and it gets progressively harder. Multiplayer allows you to get creative in handling these different types of enemies. Each character you select has its own unique style of gameplay. To access multiplayer, simply click on Multiplayer from the Start menu, and you have a couple of options to choose from. Multiplayer also has references to some cut content from the series, Squidward being the elephant in the room, or the squid in the room. Rehydrated's story begins with our duo, SpongeBob and Patrick, envisioning themselves encountering actual robots. Lo and behold, Plankton wishes to steal the Krabby Patty secret formula. Plankton's robot army rises. Not everything goes according to plan, but the robots do end up causing havoc to the city. While you explore the different hub levels as SpongeBob, once you enter different levels, you can play up to 3 different characters. That's Sandy, Patrick, and SpongeBob. SpongeBob starts with a basic melee-style attack. He also has a ground pounce and a bubble bash move. As you progress through the game, SpongeBob unlocks more abilities, such as the bowling ball shaped as a bubble and cruise bubble, which allows you to activate switches from far away, and even defeat enemies from long distance, strategically. Then we have Patrick, the one who can lift objects and ground pounce on enemies. Doing so can stun enemies. You can use that and toss the enemies around. The newly added feature in Rehydrated is the variation to his ground pounce move. Depending if you perform a single or a double jump, you can either stun the enemies or destroy them completely. His leap attack has also a slight forward move, and can now be executed in mid-air. Then comes Sandy. Speaking of mid-air battle, Sandy can now also use her lasso mid-air, completely giving players an advantage towards faster-paced gameplay, especially tougher enemies we encounter in later levels. Sandy can also swing across hooks using her lasso, areas SpongeBob nor Patrick can reach. In order to save the day from Plankton's evil scheming, you are required to collect golden spatulas, which will allow you to unlock new levels, each earned by either performing tasks given by certain characters, which could vary between simple exploration dealing with robots to actual sliding levels. The challenges in these tasks are pretty balanced. The toughest tasks I'd say would be the arena type of challenges. While exploring these different levels in the game, you can also collect shiny objects, which is basically the currency in the game which will allow you to make progress in certain sections. There's a total of 100 golden spatulas and 50 socks to find. Returning 10 lost socks of Patrick's grants you a golden spatula. You also have the ability to expand your health by finding hidden golden undies. Rehydrated's version of the levels look absolutely gorgeous. From the sunny beach of Goo Lagoon to the lush and swampy feel of Kelp Forest, each level succeeds at giving the player a different taste to the word exploration. Each level has its own set of rules of traversal and gives the player wanting even more. If you don't feel like going back and forth, wandering around in circles trying to look for a specific spatula, while the game gives you access to fast travel via the main menu, with a redesigned layout, which looks absolutely splendid. Load times even when switching from one area to the next, it's very bearable. to sit through. Let's not forget Rehydrated introduces us to a complete remastered soundtrack, which sounds awesome. Having gotten the chance to play the game thanks to the good folks at THQ, Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated runs at a consistent frame rate. The same exact thing applies for multiplayer, which actually impressed me a lot. One would think, okay, having tons of enemies on screen would cause the screen to go haywire, but no. Multiplayer's smooth gameplay is actually quite an enjoyable experience. However, one thing you'll have to get used to when playing multiplayer is when you respawn, you can still get hit. It doesn't seem like multiplayer has an invincibility frame, and what I mean by that, if you're not familiar with that term, basically, when you come back, when you lost all your health, you don't have the chance to recover and move away from the enemy. You're still gonna get hit. You're just gonna have to get adjusted to that. Speaking of multiplayer mode, unfortunately there's no option to play with an AI character. You really have to have another controller connected. I'm speaking of local gameplay, of course. Even if you attempt to connect a second controller and basically keep player number 2 idle all the time, it's not really gonna work because switches in multiplayer mode require 2 players to step on them in order to advance. And I can't simply imagine you with one controller in each hand, controlling both players, in order to basically play solo. And yeah, like I said before, it's 2 players only. I feel like a 4-player option would have been even greater. But when you think of that, you start to wonder, okay, is that when we'd see frame drops? I mean, 4 players on screen with a bunch of enemies as well? Yeah. Anyway, as for any other hiccups in the game, there are 2 minor things. Textures seem to have a slight delay when entering a new scene, or after loading. There's a sound glitch when using the bubble bowl at full speed sometimes. There's also a sound glitch when respawning in Goo Lagoon. There's like this loud screeching robotic noise that plays in the beginning. Not too fun for the ears. In Kelp Forest, I was fooling around too much with Patrick holding a stone tiki, and I got stuck between a bouncy leaf and a wall. I had to fast travel out of the area. Sandy's swinging mechanic in this version can be a bit tricky. Sometimes you feel as if her lasso isn't getting triggered to the hook. It takes a bit of practice to get around that one. Hopefully these minor hiccups get sorted out via a patch. Overall, Rehydrated is a game I highly recommend for family and kids. Very fun game, very bright, very colorful. Just these gorgeous visuals alone made me want to explore even more. That's how much I enjoyed it. Battle for Bikini Bottom gets an 8.5 from me. The game launches tomorrow on June 23rd on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC for $29.99. Thank you THQ and Purple Lamp for this awesome experience, and I really do hope you guys enjoy this game once you pick it up. So with that being said, guys, this is it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Vivi, and until next time.